Now turning back to the markets, here to discuss how the government shutdown is impacting investing and the economy is Jonathan Satovsky, CEO and chairman of Satovsky Asset Management. Welcome back to Xchange.
Thank you for having me.
So Jonathan, let me start with what we're seeing right now on Wall Street. There was a story out earlier on some websites about how this is actually maybe a buying opportunity and to be bullish. I'm going to start where I usually start with you, is asking you what your clients are asking when they call you right now. What should they do? And we should always say you are a long-term investor. We always want to talk about that.
Well, I should say that, forgive me for calling out my own father. My father happens to be the best contrarian indicator that there is. So oftentimes he calls me at moments when the pinnacle of emotions are at the height. So, of course, on Monday he calls me and says, perhaps we should sell everything because the world is about to come apart. So after, again, trying to talk him off the ledge, the reality is, if you think about the set of circumstances that we have now, people need to make capital allocation decisions long term. And in making those capital allocation decisions, people have a conundrum. In an era of financial repression, cash is earning zero. Many people who post-crisis have moved to very conservative investments aren't really making enough money to support their spending needs and their long-term goals. So the world is in need of growth. And that is driving politics, it's driving behavior, it's driving decisions everywhere, both here and abroad. And
you find growth in equities, correct? I mean, you don't have a whole lot of options where to put money right now.
At the end of the day, you're being squeezed into very few choices. So when there are companies that are innovating, and as a byproduct of low interest rates, I had someone I spoke to today that has a 15-year mortgage at 3.3%. And he had extra money come in, and he said, do I pay off the mortgage? So if you believe that in the next 15 years that you can't earn more than 3.3%, if that's all the return that you think is possible anywhere in the world, then we have a dismal 15 years ahead. I don't choose to believe that. At the end of the day, if you're the other side of that and you're borrowing money to start a business and you're looking forward and you ignore all the politics, the loose money, the easy money, if someone has a good idea and someone can innovate, there are opportunities around the world. And to your point, the possibility exists to be able to generate returns in equities. There's no mathematical possibility of reaching someone's goals in cash long term.
Long term. And also, you know, the markets don't like uncertainty, but can we certainly say there's going to be a budget? We could certainly say they're going to solve the debt ceiling problem. So if you're thinking long term, then these should not be big issues, should they?
You know, there's a law of unintended consequences. You know, there's things that happen in politics that is going to help a certain constituency and hurt another constituency. You know, an example that was given to me the other day was in the state of Minnesota. Apparently, minimum wage went from $10 to $12, and certain restaurants like Applebee's pulled all of their chains out of Minnesota because they couldn't afford to operate. So whatever happens in budget negotiations, good, bad, or indifferent, there's going to be people that are going to be screaming in, you know, virile emotions because it's going to have a perverse impact on them one way or another.
Do you see any specific industries that you like right now, sectors that are particularly good?
I think at the end of the day, if you look around the world, I think the emerging markets globally have provided a backdrop as a smaller demographic and a younger population. There are small companies all around the world that are innovating in a very big way. And it's also, people don't want to touch generally emerging markets because of geopolitical risk and currency turmoil and a lot of other things, but there's certainly opportunities. It's just the size of exposure that someone wants. You know, at this point in time, I don't think people want to be overly concentrated. Here in the United States, you know, the banking sector has been doing phenomenally well, but it's hard for people to reestablish that trust and confidence in the black box of what the bank actually owns, what they're doing.
Sure.
And, you know, but our whole economy is predicated on our credit system working and our banks being solvent. And even if you're not investing in the banking system, you want the banking system to be strong and solvent.
And you have mentioned that you think that that's looking a little bit better.
I think at the end of the day, it's better as things are better. And when things are worse, it gets worse much quicker. So I think that a retiree called me the other day, and she was in Massachusetts spending extra money, and she said, I think I'm spending past my budget. But I feel good because, we're doing well and we're making money, and it's a virtuous cycle. When people are doing well and they spend money, it actually leads to good economic activity.
Well, they feel better. It's all psychological.
It's all psychological, but more importantly, a lot of small businesses, here in New York City and around the country are surprisingly doing better than what they expected. They have a high degree of apprehension because of the uncertainty in politics and finance and the ability to be able to borrow money at cheap rates perpetually, and what's going to happen if rates are substantially different in the future. But at the moment, things are functioning, and you want to keep things calm and functioning in order for people to move forward and make plans. And if they aren't functioning, we don't want to go back to those tumultuous times where they aren't flowing as in the best interest of everyone.
Okay, Jonathan, a calm response, certainly, to some of the anxiety out there. Jonathan Satovsky from Satovsky Asset Management, thank you so much. Ahead, the master of the spy thriller Tom Clancy has died. You may be surprised what his legacy could be among people who have never read his books. You are watching Arise Exchange.